Hello everyone, welcome back to my top 10 picks from this year's 7-Day Roguelike Challenge. This one is my number 5. It's called 7-Day Band, and it exemplifies exactly what I look for in 7-Day Roguelikes. The thing that draws me to 7-Day Roguelikes is the boldness, the willingness to attempt things which otherwise no one would ever try, bizarre ideas which half the time don't work out, or kind of work but aren't fully realised. That kind of pioneering, adventurous spirit is exactly what 7DRL is about for me as a player. And 7-Day Band is exactly that. It's going to take some explaining, because it's kind of not a game, but it is a game. Oh, this will become a bit clearer when I show you what's going on, so let's just hit play and get in there. Okay, so quest to retrieve the legendary MacGuffin. It'll be found at an unknown level of the dungeon, but be warned, it's guarded by something unnamed. Yeah. Okay, so straight away, we've got a room with 2 question marks in it. What are those 2 question marks? They are monsters. But how are they monsters? Let's have a look. Let's try to move with the number pad, shall we? In your exploration, you've discovered a new type of creature, native to level 1. Name has no effect on gameplay, but it does affect our perception. So, we're going to name the monster here. And that's going to determine the letter that represents the monster on screen. So, because it's a weak monster on level 1 of the dungeon, let's choose something weak for it. Let's go with hamster. They're pretty weak. So now, actually we can make it as weak or as powerful as we want. It doesn't have to be weak just because it's on level 1. We could really front load this dungeon with incredibly powerful monsters if we're so inclined. But I'm not. So let's make it weak. The hamster attacked. So now you can see the question marks are represented by capital H's, because we have made them hamsters. How much health do we want the hamsters to have? Well, let's make them easy, because I don't want to keep getting my ass kicked while I'm showing you this. What's the chance of a hamster leaving a body behind as food? Well, I don't see hamsters having a lot of meat, so let's just say sometimes. We'll need to kill off this other hamster. Of course, we're bumping to attack in the tradition of old ASCII roguelikes. You can see the visual style is very traditional. But what was all that about? What was that text? What were these messages popping up asking us to make choices? This is how 7-Day Band works. And we will get more and more of these questions as we go along. We'll be making, like this, more and more detailed decisions about the way the hamster that we've chosen works. How much loot do they drop? I don't see hamsters having large pockets, so let's say it drops a paltry sum. And then this will happen again when we enter level 2 and we see a level 2 monster for the first time. Okay, now ranged attack. Do we want to give hamsters a ranged attack? And we can really, really customize the ranged attack here. So, what do we want it to look like? Its name. Well, what would a hamster use to attack at range? I guess it'd just have to spit. So let's call it spit. Change symbol. What shall we give it? Let's give it a, I don't know, a plus. Will that work? That works. Okay. But a plus is a door, isn't it? So let's go with, I don't know, let's just give it a star. And we can change some of the colours. Background colour, green background. We can turn pulse on and off. We can change the range of it. So let's say short range, because I don't like long ranged attacks. They're really irritating. How long to recharge? Let's give it a long recharge. Because again, I'm leaning towards making the hamsters weak. And this thing, look at what it says there, damage 1 widely spread. So we can change how much damage it does, but we can also change the distribution. Does it always do exactly the same amount of damage? Is it always around roughly the same kind of number? Is there quite a wide spread of damage? Or does it inflict either a really high amount of damage or a really low amount of damage? One or the other. So I'm going to say usually similar. We can give it to hit bonuses. How well aimed is it? Does it get, is it harder for the hamster to aim? Is it easier for the hamster to aim? I'm going to go with normal. Heat seeking. Heat seeking spit. A feature that hamsters are well known for, of course. So I'll just go with normal for now. We can give it elements. We can even edit the elements. I mean, look at that. This is just insane. We can add new elements. We can change the ones we've got. Unbelievable. Unbelievable level of detail in this stuff. We can add special effects, so you can lose mana, gain food, cure, vulnerable to elements. We can even change the verb. Instead of you attack with spit, or, hamster attacks with spit, what verb do you wish? So let's go with assault. The hamster assaults us with spit. Which sounds really disgusting. So look at that. That was just customizing the ranged attacks. And this will go on for every monster in the game. It's not just the monsters either. Every aspect of the game is like this. Look, we descend to level 2. Is this the final level of the dungeon? I'm going to say no, but you could make it a 2-level dungeon if you want. And you just customize all the details of the game like this. And you can re-customize anything you're not happy with. Use the X command, look at the hamster here, and we can change everything about the hamster. We can rename it, we can change the symbol that represents it. So let's change it to, let's change it to a lowercase z. Like that. Now it's a lowercase z. So you can change everything. And this is why I say 7-Day Banned exemplifies the things that excite me about 7-Day roguelikes, but at the same time it's kind of not a game. Because, this is one of my favourite bits. Choosing monster behaviour. Wander around, then charge. Hang out at home in its spawn room, then charge. Just charge, but not diagonally. Hunt you down, try to flank you. Hang back and pop off ranged attacks. Flee from you. Group up with other monsters and then attack. Stick to the walls, or not attack you at all. So I'm going to choose run away, and you'll see immediately the hamster just legs it away from us constantly. And they will only attack now when they have no choice, and they will try to get out of the room if at all possible. So you can completely change the behaviour of the monsters. You can change everything. What this means is that at the time that you first play the game, it's not really a game. Certainly on your first play, and probably your first several plays, you will mainly be dealing with these menus asking you to edit various aspects of the game. So that's really the big drawback here, that you kind of can't enjoy it for a while. How much fun you'll have with 7-Day Banned will be determined by your patience in getting through all this stuff where it asks you to design it. But the trade-off is some really distinctive, unique benefits. So, for instance, if you've ever wondered about a game that meets exactly your requirements, is there a game out there that does all of the things I really love in roguelikes? That I don't think I've ever played a single roguelike that does everything that I like. But with this, let's deal with this running away behaviour because it's irritating me now. So what do we? No, that's the appearance. Behaviour, there we go. So let's just go with hang out at home, then charge. Okay. It wants us to choose special behaviours. Let's ignore that for now. So I've never played a game that is exactly everything I like and no things that I don't like. But that's what 7-Day Banned can be. It can be exactly the roguelike you want it to be if you have the patience to go through all of those menus and tweak it and then change things later as you refine the balance of the game for yourself. You can make it exactly the roguelike that you want to play, as long or as short, as easy or as difficult as you want it to be. You can make a short dungeon a long dungeon. You can populate the dungeon entirely with projectile launching enemies. You can populate it entirely with enemies that inflict poison effects. You can do whatever you like with this game, and you can change it later. There's a file in the game folder called something like game def or game definition or something, which contains all of this information that you've chosen. I deleted that before I started recording, so I'd start with a blank slate. You can delete it, you can probably edit it if you figure out what you're doing. The game can be exactly what you want it to be. And just the idea of a game that is designed by the player as they play it is so original and so inventive that I had to put this game in my top 10. I knew that as soon as I figured out what it was doing. The fact that you have to plough through all this design stuff and be patient with it before you can actually have an enjoyable game with no more design stuff involved in it is what keeps this from being higher up on the list. It does get to be a bit of a chore choosing all this stuff for every feature of the game. But for sheer originality, inventiveness, and pioneering spirit, it makes it to number 5 in my top 10 7DRLs of 2015. It's my number 5. It's called 7 Day Band. As always, I will put a link in the description box below if you want to check it out for yourself, and I recommend that just for the experience. So thanks for watching, and rejoin me next time when we'll look at my number 4.